Hello everybody. Today we're going to take an implementation from a feed view that we have previously done, and we're going to add a navigation stack so we can push to different types of view. Not only are we going to be pushing views, but we're going to be pushing values of different types that conform to the same protocol. We'll also programmatically implement a method to pop all of the views and go back to the root view. We will begin this with an overview of the app that we already have in Furniture. This was in previous videos where we built a tab view, and each one has the feed with different types of products. We have the order and the stores with a map. Now for the feed, here's where we're going to apply the navigation stack. We will be able to tap on these cells, and when we tap, we will go to the detail of that store, the featured product, the featured items, or a quick link. So yeah, one of these. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. So let's begin. So we'll go first to our feed view. That is what we have here in the geometry reader. And we will create a navigation stack. And that's pretty much it. Now we need to travel to each of these items which were presented in the feed. Those are called feed items. Let's go to that declaration. So feed item is a protocol, and since the last implementation we have made some changes. First, the feed item protocol has the title. This was already implemented by the different types, and we accept a visitor. So let's go over these changes. So each feed section has its own items. Oh, I have a typo here. Let me fix that. So the feed section has section items, and we'll be fixing this typo as we go through. And each item conforms to feed item. We also made a change here where the ID used to be a UUID. Now it's a combination of this. You will see why later. And you'll also see why we added this section items variable to the feed section. Okay, typo fixed, good to go. So this feed item is what we're going to be sending to the navigation stack so it can push to another view. And why we're going to send the feed item? Because it depends, it's multiple possible items. It can be a banner item, store item, and so on. All of this is through a protocol. What else? Oh, okay, so the visitor. Also because we're going to have a polymorphic item, so that's the feed item. It can be any of these types, and we don't want a switch to cast when building this. So what we created is a protocol called feed item visitor. This is actually a design pattern, the visitor design pattern. More of that detail in the previous videos for this same app where we constructed the feed section visitor. In this case, we're using the feed item visitor, which visits each of these items. And that visitor will determine which of the views create. So these are the detail views. These are simple views. In no means are they complex. It's just the banner item view, presents text, the image of the banner, and we just have a lorem ipsum to occupy space. And same goes for all of this. So we have a view for each type of feed item. So now we're here in the navigation stack. The only thing that we need is a navigation destination. If you were not here for the previous video, it's simple. Everything inside the navigation stack just responds to a value. So here, for example, we'll have the navigation destination 4, and let's say we're starting with banner item. And we just need to create a destination from a hashable. Notice that here's where some of the stuff will start breaking. So here, the destination needs to be a view. Now, notice here, banner item needs to conform to hashable. So the first change that we're going to do is that feed item will conform to codable and hashable. And given how our other conforming structs are made up with strings, they will be codable and hashable immediately. There's nothing we need to do. The ID is already calculated, all good there. And this warning will go away the next time we build. We're going to create a FeedItemFactory, just like we created a FeedSectionFactory. And for now, we don't receive anything. We conform, however, to the FeedItemVisitor. And here we will start. So just visiting a banner item. The type of data will be void. We don't need anything here. And the outcome will be an NavigationView. And for now, let's just item view, banner item. And it's pretty much the same for the other ones. Let's create a generic one that every item can use here. So view for item. And here we will let the item accept the visitor, which would be self. The data is void, so we can pass this. And well, here we can, oh yeah, and here is, I think it has to be any actually. No, yeah, it can be. And the navigation title would be the title of the item, which again, we have to the protocol. So this FeedItemFactory is what we will use. So let's go back to our feed view. Here, FeedItemFactory. And we'll build view for item, which will be this item. So that will be for banner item. Let's do the same for the other views. With this, again, as we saw in the previous video, we're ready to receive in the navigation links items of type banner item, store item, feature product item, option item. And with this, the navigation stack knows which type of views to create for each of these hashable values. What else is missing? In these sections, we're going to include the navigation link for these items. So we'll just go one by one and add them. So here with this banner cell, just embed it in a navigation link with value and label. The label is already being constructed. The value is just the banner item. I'm going to close this. And let's do the same for the other sections. And with this, we should be good to go. Let's give it a try. Oh, yeah, this is something that we'll use later, the typo. I'll explain later, but basically our feed view model has a new method which just gives random items from all of the sections. And for now, it's giving just 3. Actually, make it 4, yes. We're going to ignore the MKP annotation view since that's part of the map view and we're not touching this for the video. Okay, notice that now because they are inside the navigation link, that color of the text changes to blue to match the button. You could change that with program color or another style, but we're not going to do anything there for now. Let's stop here and we can see that now we're taken to the view. So this is the banner. This is a banner view. Remember that was in the detail view of banner item view. Let's try on this one, find store. This is a store. Our navigation bar here. So everything is working. And we have this, a simple implementation of NavigationStack. It was really easy. And we can push to different views. Now, how about if we go further into navigation? What if this feed item has different feed items here suggested, and we go deeper into the navigation. Can NavigationStack handle different types of data in the same array? And after that, how do we go back easy? Instead of having the user just tap back 3 times, 4 times, how can we easily go back to this feed view? So let's try and see this. First off, let's go to our FeedItemFactory. Close these sections. We don't need them anymore. Here, this class will need the suggested items. So that's just the items that we will be suggesting for the view that we are building. It's going to be of type any. Feed item is need to be any because it's an array of any of the feed item. It's just not just an array of banner items or something like that. It's an array of, it can be a banner item, it can be 2 store items, and an option item. So that's why we need the any. We'll do this later, but for now, what we're going to have is a B stack having the view that we build, right, the item visitor, and underneath that one, we'll have a scroll view. Be horizontal. And in there we'll have an H stack with each of the suggested items. So we'll have these suggested items. Here, what we want is the indices. We don't want to deal with the item itself, since we won't have the ID for that. Since it's any feed item, we cannot interact with the hashable part. And here we'll create a navigation link. The value will be the item and the label. Oh, actually there's another method for NavigationLink that includes already a text. That's what we want. Oh yeah, it's just item.title and the value is item. Now here, there will be a problem with the any. Notice that any feed item does not conform to hashable. That's because we cannot use them interchangeably. I tried different things for this, but I wasn't. Oh, by the way, this is a struct. We don't need this to be a class. I tried playing with this, but couldn't find a way to actually have the any feed item being used here and turn it out to some item just to be able to create the navigation link. Instead, what I found was we could create a private extension for feed item. And here we will create the navigation link inside of the protocol. The title and the value. Notice that there we don't have the problem. We're not in any item, in any feed item. We are with a feed item. And here we just ask for this. Navigation link. And oh yeah, this also cannot be some view because it will be different. It needs to be any view. And now we should have in the feed view an error because we're not passing the suggested items to the feed item factory. And this was the method that we got, that we created in the view model. We could write down items. Let's include these here. And we should be good. Let's run. Okay, going here. Here we have the other suggested items. We could make this prettier, but right now we're just trying out stuff. Let's hit a union square. This one has its own set of feature items since it's always using this FeedItemFactory. It has its own suggested model, and we will just, again, we're passing a navigation link with a value, and here, thanks to this, the navigation stack knows which view to create. And here we have different types of views. This is a store, this is one of the options, and we can go back, 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 Now notice that it was a little bit tedious going back all of those times. We could do two things. One is every time we hit on one of the suggested items, we replace the path with one of with the item. So for example, here we tap here and the path will turn to that. We could do it like that. To simplify this implementation, what we're going to do is instead add a button here in the navigation bar to go back to the root. So basically a popToRoot view controller like we have in Navigation View Controller. That's pretty easy. We create a state that contains the path of the navigation stack. It's a navigation path, and that's what we are going to pass here. The root we already had. And we'll add a closure in our FeedItemFactory to toggle this behavior. We'll have on popToRoot, and here we'll add a toolbar. Toolbar item. The placement is going to be, got the name, navigation bar trailing. And the content, let's just add a button. The action will be our on popToRoot. And the text will just say popToRoot. Or better yet, a little bit more user-friendly, back to feed. Oh, place the name of the label, everything good. We should get another exception here. Create the method popToRoot, and here it's just path equal to empty array. That's pretty much it. Oh no, actually this one cannot be an empty array. That was with the previous implementation we had for NavigationPath. This is just we reinitiate the path. Set that to the other ones. And let's try again. So we had CC as this to popToRoot. Okay, nothing has changed here. Let's go in here. We have the back to feed. Let's try it with one. All good. Let's try it here with a little bit more views. Go deeper. And back to feed. And it's animated. Nothing changes. We didn't break anything. Notice there are no warnings here. All is good. Yeah, there we have our implementation. This is also compatible in iPad. And there we have it. That was more of NavigationStack, pushing in items of different types and mixing them together in the same navigation stack. We also saw how the path could be clear with one simple line of code here with the back to feed. As promised during the implementation, here it is in iPad. None of the code was changed to make this possible. NavigationStack works just as well in iPad. Nothing had to be adapted. Maybe this could be prettier with a navigation split view like we did in the previous video. But yeah, nothing more to see here. Hope you liked the video. Bye.